Now I mentioned that first line indents, as you see here, are not commonly used on the first paragraph of a story. However, drop caps are frequently used on the first paragraph of a story. They just add a good visual weight, kind of a cue to the eye of where to start reading the story. Now, the best way to create drop caps, you could always select the text and make it larger and kind of play around with it. But the easiest way to create drop caps in InDesign is to insert your type cursor into the paragraph that you want to create the drop cap for. Make sure that you're in the paragraph mode of the control panel, and we have two options up here. The first option dictates how deep the drop cap is. Right now it's set to 0. I'll increase that to 1, and it doesn't really change because it's just 1 line deep. But now let's go 2 lines deep and maybe 3 lines deep. We also have the width of the drop cap. Maybe we should call these drop words, but you can increase this value and really set this as deep as you want, as long as it does not exceed the width of the column. I'm going to set it back to 1. That's kind of a more common. Oh, actually, I went a little too far. Let's go ahead and increase that to 3 lines again. There we go. That's what we want. So we've controlled the depth and the number of characters in that drop cap, but there are a couple of other advanced options, specifically some new options for InDesign CS3 that we want to take a look at. So let's go over here to the panel flyout menu on the control panel, and we'll choose drop caps and nested styles. Inside this dialog box, we're not going to get into nested styles right now, but let's examine drop caps. There's really just 2 or 3 options that you need to know. Of course, we're going to turn on preview to see the effects. And again, we could continue to experiment with values here. Maybe we're trying to decide between 1 and 2 characters. I think 1 works just fine. But a couple of other things that we can do, we can assign a character style to the drop cap. Now, we don't really have any character styles in this document, but if you had a specific character style that maybe was a specific color, or maybe a different font because you wanted a very flourished ornamental drop cap, you could assign that there. Also, you have align left edge. Now, if you look here on the left edge, this is real nitpicky stuff, but the W, the serif on the W, doesn't exactly line up with the left edge of the frame. Some folks really want that to happen. There were ways to achieve that with InDesign CS2, but to be honest with you, they were just convoluted workarounds. So now with a single click, you can align that perfectly to the frame edge. The other thing that you can enable is scale for descenders. We do not need that in this option, but thinking back to our character style, if we were using maybe an S or a J in a script font that had a descender and it was kind of overlapping the 4th line of text, we could choose that and it would scale that drop cap up so that it's not overlapping any of the other text. I'll go ahead and click OK for now. We have this nice drop cap set in there, aligned perfectly, 1 character wide, 3 lines deep. It's looking good.